This session brought to you by Odyssey Games for pre-orders and sealed product, CCG Prime for tons of singles and supplies, Cardo Doko for international rulers looking for product, and fowtlibrary.com for articles and wonderful deck lists, as well as our guest lecturer members King Pearlshine, Vite Ramen, Mognite, and Darren Noblock. Class is in session. Hey there, rulers. Welcome back after a long spring break of Force of Will to your favorite ever live Force of Will podcast. It's Office Hours featuring myself, TMO73, and I'm joined, as always, by Mike Rance.
Happy Passover, everyone. I'm wearing the wrong holiday shirt.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And filling in for Paul Reisman today is Patrick Ogrins. Hey, Patrick.
Blue rulers represent.
I lost Paul, so I got to get another blue ruler stand, which is Patrick. It's the law of this. It's the law of this podcast.
I believe they call that the mermaid law.
Ironically enough, the thumbnail for today is Veer.
It's almost as if you planned that.
Don't talk about it. So anyway, before we get started, I do want to say thank you all so much for being here. If you like what we're doing and you want to consider supporting the channel, you can click that join button down below. It is the easiest way to support us financially. It gets you access to all kinds of cool perks, including also getting to spam all of those wonderful emotes in the chat like Rustin and Robert have already been doing. So just check that out. Also, if you haven't already signed up for the GP this weekend here in the United States, the online Discord GP, what are you doing? Come on, you got to sign up. It's this weekend. You can check out the information in the link in the description below to get signed up for that. And also, Odyssey Games has a couple of products back up online. First off, they have more boxes of War of the Sun and pre-release kits of War of the Sun up on their website. And pre-orders for the next set are also now up on the website, so you can check that out. Crimson Moon Battleground. Spoilers haven't even started yet. Start getting those pre-orders in now.
They're starting soon, though. I believe just came out.
They are. Tomorrow. We just got the news that tomorrow is when spoilers start. So very, very exciting. So, Patrick, how you doing?
I still have a desk full of cards.
Okay. Tell us more.
I haven't had to play since last GP. Well, not had to play. I haven't been able to play since last GP. So I just haven't cleaned off my desk.
Fair. That's fair. You should have a reason to play, though, because of the first thing that we get to talk about today, which is this wonderful community event starting this weekend, which is let me find the thing, the Grand War, the Force of Will Grand War. This pretty cool community event that we get to kind of. We saw the artwork for these two cards when this set was first spoiled, like the first set of this cluster was spoiled. It was this like climactic battle between these two mechs, and then the card art vanished. And so it's this cool community event where you get to choose which side you're fighting for, and then you take a picture of your deck list and then a picture at the end of every one of your games and submit those through the form to earn points for either the heroes or the villains. And whichever side gets more points gets their promo version of their like mech in upcoming boxes, we think, as like a box topper. So pretty cool.
I think it said in like promotional packs. So like things that they're putting the reprint promos in now.
Yeah.
Will also have these in them.
Yeah, or like a second one. Or like mixed in with the box topper or something. They've done that before where we have like two box toppers in one pack kind of thing. One blue player must be on the cast at all times. That's true. That's true. So, what's your take, gentlemen, on this idea of a community kind of driven interaction event?
It's good.
Please go into more detail than this. This is an hour-long podcast. I have a lot to talk about, but I need more from you.
I mean, that's the start.
I think it's great. Putting out the rules and making it so that everybody knows like what needs to happen. And it still can be like a webcam thing, because you just have to take a picture of your deck list, or take a screenshot of the screen when you're done playing. And it makes it really easy to just upload.
Yeah, for sure. It's also really nice that you don't, like, you can still, like, be playing Aristella, but you can tell them because you're submitting your deck list like what side you're fighting for. So like Aristella can still earn you points for the bad guys. So like even if you're just some friends who've just picked up a couple of the starter decks, you can still just play in this environment and earn points for your team, which I think that's pretty cool. It's also just like it harkens back to me in the idea of like kind of like the Ascension campaign, but without us having to mail cards to a mystery PO box
Oh
location.
my god, I forgot about having to actually mail them in.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Like I remember the point system, and we're like, okay, point system is fine. We get mailed the thing, but the Ascension campaign was, hey, mail in these cards, and we'll send you new copies. I'm like, but I want my own stuff still.
Nah, get rid of your stuff. What? What? Mike, what's your give me more of your thoughts about this kind of community engagement idea other than it's good?
No, I think it's just very solid marketing, in my opinion, as somebody who knows that like it's easier to get your community to basically do your marketing for you at the end of the day. Like, obviously, if you're a new company, grassroots is the way to go. But Forcible's established itself over the fact that like we're coming up on a 10-year anniversary at this point. Like from that time span, they've amassed a pretty solid community to work with. And at the end of the day, just having people who like the game just share what they like about the game and turn that into a marketing campaign. All right.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
fine.
And if all of y'all don't fight for the villains so that we get a freaking Leviton Chrono Gear promo, I'm gonna be mad.
Jeremy here rooting for the villains like always.
Well, it's mainly because of the fact that the artwork for the Excalibur, while beautiful and
It's the
gorgeous,
backside of the Gundam.
is the top 8 promo, just non-Uberized. So I'd rather so that card art already exists in print somewhere. So I'd rather we force them to give us the other artwork so that we can have access to both. And also kind of give a little bit more weight to the top 8 promos by making that the only way to get that artwork. That's just a personal thing. So that's why I'm fighting with Blue Funf. I've got Bug Funf all sleeved up, and I'm just like, let's go.
Good old
Never end never end plus Unknown Mother Goose.
Okay.
I just don't lose the game.
I mean, there's
Let's
easier ways
go.
to do that, Jeremy.
Shush.
No, there's no easier way.
Wall of Terror plus Unknown Mother Goose. Let's go. But yeah, that's my thoughts about it. I think overall it's a very cool idea. I think it starts this Saturday. So everybody who signed up for the GP better friggin' put their take pictures of all of their finished board skates and enter their stuff.
They
So
do
we
have
can-
to be playing hero rulers.
Yes, that's true. You do have to be playing a hero cluster ruler, which is fair. So I guess I will say this: if you are playing a hero cluster ruler this weekend, take a picture of it at the end of every one of your games, please, so we can start earning some points. Just wish we had them both as promo art once to be together, at least on a mat or something. Yeah, like they are, and Typhon's asteroid clusters in the background. Like it's kind of cool. The fight before Ainz gets murdered and turns into Dexia again. But yeah, that's a cool idea. Just in general, that wanted people to know about if they haven't already seen it. The other thing is, guys, spoilers do start tomorrow, but we've technically seen 2 cards already.
They make me excited.
So let's talk about them.
I need to bring them up. Are they in?
So I got them right here. So we have 2 of Electra's contracts, the J ruler sides, specifically the box topper and the buy a box, and they are both the secret rare art style because the other 4 contract secret rares are in the set. And I honestly think this is a very cool way to get this art style into players' hands for Electra, doing it as the buy a box or the pre-release kit. Very, very hype just out the gate. So that's my thought there.
I love
Let's
this
talk
art.
about This artwork is
I love
absolutely
this
sick.
art. It's so cool.
So we're gonna start with Electra the Dragon form, Fire J Ruler, who is a 2/10. On enter, you may reveal a fire high armament sub ruler you control from outside the game that does not share a name with the sub rulers you control and put it into the ruler area. Whenever this card attacks, recover target armament or your armament sub ruler, recover target armament or high armament sub ruler you control. Matt Seymour in the chat. Good to have you back, buddy. Hey, good to have
Congrats,
you.
Dad. What's happening?
Yeah, congrats being a dad. I was showing them off at an anime detour this past weekend and maybe got some people to give FOW a chance again. Yeah. So, I have no. What is your Patrick? What is your initial thoughts when looking at this card? I will ask Mike the same question, but Patrick, you first.
Just this card or
Just this card.
just this card? I don't know why it's not a dragon and just a human.
Nah, human. Clearly lizard.
Yeah,
human.
Just human. I am super down with the fact that this might this kind of gives me a feeling of like old regalia where it was actually like equipment for your ruler, where it was like, all right, I have my ruler, this regalia is here specifically to buff my ruler, except the fact that Electra is here with like tons of different equipment that she can use.
Yeah, I get that vibe for sure.
Pokemon Scarlet,
Mike, any
Pokemon
first
Violet.
thoughts?
Forgot.
Yeah, Pokemon Violence and Pokemon Scarlet.
Pokemon Violence, Jesus. Real quick, does the existence of sub-rulers imply the existence of dom rulers?
Okay, so moving on to what you really think.
I don't know.
I have him on. That's why I have him on. That's why I have him on. I just keep telling myself this. The day that Mike no longer appears in this podcast is the day you all know I finally snapped. just
I bring so much to the table, Jeremy.
I'm gonna one day I'm just gonna specifically ask, like I'm gonna do like maybe for Halloween or something, just as like a prank, is I'll do like bloody makeup on myself or whatever and have you podcast in, but just like have your room be trashed and just have your camera on your chair and just not present the entire time. So it's just like
Jeremy's really doing some fucking
like that's the whole thing. Like,
Jeremy's really doing an elaborate like
so
video.
If it happens, if
Yeah.
it happens and you didn't watch this specific podcast, you'll be like, what is happening? But if
And
you watch
also-
this one, you'll be in on the joke.
And also, this will be really easy for Jeremy to actually get away with murder, because then I'll just be an empty chair here, and he'll be covered in blood, and he'll be like, "Oh, it's a reference to episode 109."
109. Yeah, it's 109. It's just a callback.
And then I'm actually dead.
Okay, so anyway, to your real thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, high armament type stuff, like it does remind me a lot of like Grimia from like original Grim Cluster, which I'll always be. Grimia is always that one ruler from the old sets where I'm like, this card could have had so much more done with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on like if by a chance we start getting like I don't know more high armament sub rulers. I don't know. I'm a big proponent. Sorry, I'm just saying I'm a big proponent of legacy support. So like having something very specific to one specific ruler always irks me just a tiny bit.
Yeah. So for me, the thing about this that really stands out to me is the question I am left asking is how do sub rulers work in terms of like, can they call for stone? Can they be used for something like Never End or something like that? My brain says no, right? It feels like they're probably not going to be able to, and I really hope that's the case. So that's a step. But also the idea of like in this day and age, a ruler like Grimia wouldn't be very successful because we have such good like entity spot removal, right? So like it feels really lackluster when you put out a J ruler, put a big sword on him, and then your opponent's like, well, destroy the sword. Like, sorry. But like this idea of the things that are boosting her up, the things whose activate abilities I'm going to use to kind of boost up the Jade ruler that I'm like throwing into the field are in the ruler area, so you can't target them, right?
Yeah,
Like that to me
I have the feeling
feels
like one of them might be like ramp, maybe. Some of them are going to be stat boosts. Some of them might give keywords.
yeah, yep, for sure. Like the fire one is probably going to be swiftness, right?
Actually,
Like
the thing that this reminds me of also is the orbs for Order Dante.
yes, it does have that same kind of vibe because they have eternal, right? Specifically to try to protect it. It has that same kind of vibe. Yeah.
And then we got Damascus Moon, so all the orbs are
Right.
dead.
So this is a way to get around. This is a way to get around that too, right? It's just a very cool idea for her. And then we do have her other form.
We don't know if it's
Looking-
the only two.
We don't. Yeah, that's true.
Because
Well,
this
no,
is
we do.
fire and darkness.
We do. We do know that these are the only two, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, is
because
this a
there
card
are-
list?
The card list. There are 6 contracts in this set. We know Aristella can contract. We know the 3 Void Mechs can contract, and then these 2 forms of her can for contracts. So, because big old spaceship doesn't have a contract.
Yeah, which
so-
makes it interesting that these are the only 2 things that will grab fire. That these will grab a fire and a darkness, but there are
Yeah.
14 armaments.
She
so we
probably has
don't
other
know,
cards that
like-
grab different armaments.
I understand that. It's just interesting that her contracts specifically grab fire or darkness depending on which mode you want to go into.
Right. Well, that's the other thing too. Is like we've joked about how like FOW has done the mechanics of other games but done them better, and it's just like I saw this and the high armament concept, and I was like, so flesh and blood? Like, are we just like putting a bunch of cards attached to our hero, like from Flesh and Blood? Is that what we're doing? But so secondly, we have Electra, the horror form. J/Resonators your opponent controls gain -2/-2 for each armament or high armament sub-ruler you control. Gosh, that's so good. Also a 2/10. Enter, you may reveal a darkness high arm. Same kind of enter effect, right?
It's horror.
The horror, the dragon form, or like dragon form, right? Is the one that like it doesn't do anything other than get you one, and like gets you another one when it attacks. Whereas this one's like, so
This is
the
the
other
end
form
game.
feels like
The horror
this is
form
the end
is the
game.
end game.
Like
You're
I
all right, I
I
got
put a
big
bunch
thing,
on using the dragon
You don't
form,
get
and
to
then
play the game.
yeah. Toby, I need them to show me the spaceship deck already. Come on, bruh. Spoilers start tomorrow. Like, chill out. It's gonna be okay. This ability blows dragon out of the water. Yeah, no, I think I like this is how you win the game, whereas the first version is how you like ramp your armaments, right? So it feels very, very cool for that.
Or like
Because the other thing is too
once
is we
per
don't know if
turn.
Electra is gonna start with multiple rulers.
that, and then
'Cause
like once per turn, something might have an effect. Be like, tap, reveal a regular armament, put it into your ruler area or something.
Well, the other question is, are all armaments just rulers? Are armaments cards that can be in the main deck, or armaments that are only side deck?
I think
Right?
if we go by the wording on horror form, they are all sub rulers.
Probably. But the question is, can sub rulers also be cards in the main deck? Like the return of the like alternative cards.
Do you think that an armament subruler becomes a high armament subruler when they smoke subruler weed?
I'm gonna
Stop. That's why I have him on. That's why I keep him on the show. Matt Seymour, yes, spaceship. There's this little green orb over here that is the spaceship that we don't know anything about it.
Falchion hijack Damascus mode. Done.
Yeah, it's a big old big old moon.
Got
And
Death
its
Star.
mechanics seems to be very similar to like the idea of the Stranger deck. Like it's gonna have a separate deck that it works off of, and it can't contract and it can't do judgment. Then you got the 3 mechs in the background who are tagging. You've got Electra who's done the armament stuff, and then Aristella can tag with any ruler from Grim Cluster.
And we
That's
still
his
don't know who
gimmick.
the character in the middle is. That looks like Kaguya.
Certainly does look like a Kaguya mech. So we'll see.
Interesting because of Ulga's son child being Kaguya ?
Don't know.
Oh, anybody in chat who wants to make my day? I don't know if Olga has an aggressive strategy already made out of his tools, or if he's only control/mid range right now. But if anybody makes an aggressive Olga deck, can you just call it Olga Bolga?
It's kind of hard to do. It's kind of hard to do aggressive with Olga. You
I
can get to a contracted Genesis in like 3 turns though. It's not difficult.
It's not impossible.
Tag with Grim. So Lumia Flicker. Lumia Flicker is Lapis Cluster. But it's like the Lumia that RFG's stuff. Grim himself, Bahamut,
Kane.
One, Abdul,
Gold.
Scheherazade, like all kinds of stuff there that you're gonna be able to goof around with.
Vault Gold searching for one-eye at every turn.
Yeah, just use your dragon every single turn.
Kane having no ability. Brr. The most powerful Grim Ruler to
The
pair
most
with
powerful
it.
Grim Ruler of all time.
Does Kane
Mono Green
say
will
that
go
he
swift
can't
as
call a
alright, let's
stone?
go, Steve. Holshozer.
Does Kane say the player can't call a stone, or does Kane say he can't call a stone?
I don't know.
The J ruler can't call stone.
Is that so? You can judgment Kane, and then
Yeah,
get 2
and then
stones a
just
turn
call-
because you can call stone with Aristella.
Oh, hang on.
That's why I was asking if the player can't call a stone or if Kane can't call a stone.
This is a good question. Let's learn.
You cannot call magic stones continuous
Oh,
at the
Player
beginning of your
can't
main
call a
phase.
stone.
Yeah. No,
unfortunate.
not player. You. You,
Boots.
Patrick.
You.
Puss in Boots.
Puss
Tag.
in Boots.
Yeah, the Puss in Boots tag.
That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. A lot of cool things that you could do for that stuff. You just played Zach Alter. Okay, so I do want to talk about one thing though. So this past weekend, or 2 weekends ago, we had our first Discord webcam exhibition on Ruler School. We had 25 players for that, both from an international community, where we got to give away our very first like
Count.
artwork given to us by the company custom Ruler School playmat, which was the Moonchild rulers. So that was a test drive, and it was deemed successful. And so this is what the title of this video is talking about. That we have been granted permission to start making custom mats like Converging Wills and China of any of like specific cards as we wish for events, that we are going to be able to start producing these. And so we're in the process of like getting the first artwork and getting the first printings, like artwork designed and approved. But we will be starting monthly webcam tournaments on the Ruler School server for prize wall points just for signing up for FowFest, and where top 8 will get to take home that month's playmat. So what we're gonna do there is that month it'll be a $10 entry. You'll get 5 prize wall points just for FowFest, just for signing up. It's 1-day events where the top 8 of Swiss after that 1 day walk home with that month's mat. And these are going to be firing every month starting next month. So you heard it here first. that that's what's gonna be coming out. And I'm very, very excited about it. It's also stage one of a 2-stage thing that I'm working on building overall, but like this was stage one of getting it in place. So I'm very, very excited about it. And we will be, it's not just cards that I want to see on playmats, right? We're going to be doing like this first suite of them are cards that I knew people were going to like, but moving forward, we'll do like community polls about which cards they want to see on playmats. We'll do.
I'm sure everyone wants Mars on a playmat. I know that's the very popular ruler. Mars.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
more
very
curious.
popular. But
No.
We're gonna be doing this. This also means that for FowFest, we will have a very wide assortment of custom mats available for the prize wall. Like it's honestly huge that we're going to be able to do this. It's just really exciting. So like Converging Wheels in China, the Shukong from China have been wonderful resources for us in terms of helping us get promos and or helping us get playmats for like FowFest and running their amazing events. But now we will finally be able to join them and start making playmats as well.
That's the best.
So I'm very excited, very, very excited to be able to start doing this. So I guess the question that I have for this is, what do you guys think about this like prize structure, this kind of style of event? The people who are here in the chat, as well as the two of you, do you know if you could make a mat, what would you make? Do we think we should try to do some like fun formats every once in a while, and what formats should those be?
I think this is.
Go ahead.
I think this idea is a really good idea for a couple of reasons. One is obviously popular characters that really didn't get their limelight because they didn't have like official artwork that was like really, I don't know, something to make out of it that was done before. I feel like people will really start to like kind of dig into what art like is the most like action oriented format. Previously we would just get like the full art of a super rare on a mat or something. No, stop! Don't say that. But yeah, so you missed everything I just said probably, but
it was cutting out a little bit, but we heard it.
All right, good. The only other thing is that if we start doing polls to see what rulers everybody wants and what everybody wants here, we can see what percentage of the forceful community is degenerates, which I think is pretty solid.
Rustin, we are definitely going to do some polls for like once we get through this first suite. We'll do like polls for like, okay, we got a plan for. Right now, I have mats requested through up to FowFest. So like we have all the artwork we need up until FowFest, but I'll probably like request some polling for some of the mats that will print for FowFest, and then I'll probably do some polls for the events after FowFest. The idea is like this is just more of the hope too of doing them is 1-day events is that more people can sign up for them because you don't have to worry about if you top 8 or not for like, playing in an event and then like, having to request 2 days off of work versus 1 or not feeling well the next day. Also, because it's just top 8 and that's it, like first place and 8th place are just as good, which means, I'm trying to encourage people to not necessarily try so hard. Like, sure, use it as a testing environment if you want, but also feel free to just like chill. But also that, opens us up to being able to do cool, fun formats. Like, Spain just did an event. Spain just did an event where they played Wanderer. You couldn't play it was single rulers only with no Marvel rares.
Interesting.
Like you weren't allowed to play any Marvel
rares. Oh,
rares.
okay. Golden Years, got it.
But also, like, I was thinking about that format more, and I was just like, so you just played like Brunhild? Like you just play Haiku Hanzo and win, like Haiku Brunhild and win? Like probably that format is just
seems pretty good.
Yeah, like, But what we can do that, right? And the whole idea is we're Alejandro, is here to tell me that I'm wrong. That Alejandro, was Brunhild not just the best deck in that environment? It feels like it would be.
I feel like we could also go back to a format that I know a couple people were asking about, that we had one event for, which was like the old Golden Days format,
Oh yeah, way back.
way back.
The problem is
Vin,
the problem with
Vin
that
3.
is like the problem with that is we want it to be like accessible to everyone, right?
Mhm.
So doing a format so based in old rulers makes it difficult because not everyone has it because these will be webcam events,
Mhm.
right? So like,
But
You should just
playmat
let me ban a
wise,
bunch of cards and then see what remains afterwards, and then you have to play a format with that.
Well,
If Mike Rance doesn't like it, you can't play it.
if Mike Rance doesn't like it, you can't play it.
I don't know. I feel like that'd be a super cool format.
Showing up on the morning of just to find out your deck's DQ'd because Mike had too much coffee that day and didn't bother reading your list.
No. I'm gonna do it like 30 days.
Yeah.
ahead
Oh
of
no,
time.
I'm right. I played Brunhild plus Kage in 5 out. Yeah. Like of course. Like I was thinking about that format and I was just like, Haiku Kage is just like the best deck.
The best
in
card
environment. Right. Like
Literally like one of the best cards in Force Will history.
ooh, Valentina Alice Origins 2 plus a VR combo. Yeah, I can see that. I can see getting overwhelmed in Haiku Hanzo for sure.
a lot
Wait, it
of
was
cards
2
to play.
rulers?
No,
No.
you just play VR without Moon Children.
Yeah, you played Fier
Like-
in Valentina.
Okay.
No, we're talking about. Oh, you're like just play melody stuff, but just
Yeah.
not. Popper could be a cool idea. Yeah, like these are all things that we wanted to be able to try to do.
Marvel
There's
Rares
no idea.
only.
Epic stories.
Not gonna do that.
There's
Let me
no
tell you
way you
about the
could
t-
handle
let
a
me-
multiplayer format in whip
Let me tell you the time. Let me tell you the time in my last event that I just hosted on Discord, where one round went 40 minutes past time because New Frontier or Wanderer was already like complicated. You want me to add both players playing 100 card, 8,000 life?
I'm sorry, wait,
decks?
it's 100
no,
live.
I'm asking about
Wait, it's
4-player
100 cards
pods. No.
Wait. Epic Stories is
Stories
100
has
cards now?
Epic Stories, according to like the rules that most people are playing Oz, with California being the ones who's doing a lot of the testing of it, has shifted to 100 card decks.
And it's always
Aye.
with pods.
Yeah, no, I don't want a 4-hour game. No, thank you. Not what I'm doing. You can do that. You can do that at. You can do that
I
at
need another beer. I'll be right
and
back.
waste your time and waste your time.
Look, that wasn't a
Go for
waste.
it.
That was fun the entire time.
Yeah, no, sure, that's fine.
Anyway,
I
Matt
too
wise, Matt
Yeah,
wise.
go for it.
I would ask you to ask the company about an artist tribute for some Mats.
So here's the thing.
Or would they have to be a single character?
So here's the thing. I can try to make, from my understanding, I could look into the idea of doing like compilation mats, right? But I can't. I'm not going to be commissioning new artwork.
No, that's fine.
That's just making sure.
I'm
that we're
just
on the
saying,
same
like,
page.
there's so much artwork of certain characters, and there are artists that are specifically known for certain characters that you could take like 5-7 different artworks of Alice and Dark Alice and arrange them really nicely on a mat, and that would look fantastic. And people would be like, "Done. Give me this. I will play."
Yeah. So the hope for these is that, and they will be international, people allowed in these events. Disclaimer: if you top 8 and you're international, we ask you to help with shipping. The entry fee is low, so we ask that our international people help us with shipping to get them there. But we can do it. And the hope with this, as well as the other project that I'm working on, is this idea of Force of Will has locals when you can get one started and maintained. It has kitchen table groups. It has locals. It has GPs. It doesn't really have anything in between. And so the idea of hosting these like bigger-ish, potential-ish Discord events once a month, as well as the other project that I'm working on behind the scenes, is to fill that like mid-level event gap.
It's for lack of better terms, it is filling the gap that ARG left.
Yeah, it's like a circuit, right? It's not an episode without Mike vanishing, but he's back, so it's good.
I did it, guys. My internet shit the
Is
bed.
it 9 o'clock? No, it's earlier than that.
Yeah, we have 20 minutes left on the podcast.
I know.
But that's
Crazy.
That's my that's my new era of events coming out, and I'm very, very excited about it. So be on the lookout for signups for those events.
Sorry, Jeremy, I'm keeping you up.
Excuse me. No, I'm just
He's
yawning
got to
a
go
lot
and work
today.
out after this.
Did not have enough caffeine today. So let's see. This weekend is the GP. I'm commentating and streaming it. Patrick is judging it. Mike is drinking through it.
Listen, I can pop in.
You could sign up. You have cards. You could make
No,
a
I'm just
Wanderer
gonna
legal
commentate.
deck. Okay. Anyway,
no.
Illegal deck, but I'm missing all like the good cards.
nah, you can still play a legal deck. It's fine. No big deal.
Yeah, just play
Um,
Prego TK.
Yeah, just play Preko TJ. Earn yourself that steak dinner.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I am
Um,
threatening you with a good
so-
time.
So, Patrick, this is more a
Fuck.
conversation for you and I as well as the chat. Coming into the
I'm right here, man.
Yeah, but okay. You can contribute if you feel confident.
Okay.
So what do you think are like, first off, what would you play if you were going into this weekend and why? And secondly, what do you think are like the decks to watch out for as we go into this weekend?
See, that's not fair to ask me because I play weird stuff all the time. But if I
That's
was
fair.
actually,
That's why I said the and why. Like,
if I was playing, if I was really trying, I would be playing Hyde. I would literally be like, Derek, how do I play this deck? What goes on? There's a lot of cards. It draws a lot of cards. It has a lot of answers, and you just kind of out pressure your opponent the entire time. I would
Then-
probably be.
And then
playing
Derek
Hyde
would
if
tell
I could
you
with them.
because he's actually like the nicest dude in the world. I love Derek.
I think Aristella still also is playable even through Hyde. I liked the idea that a lot of people had with the lab, but I don't know how fast lab is going to be able to go.
For me, the lab idea is a really cool deck for Swiss, but is a bad deck for top cut, right? I think we've seen, and again, kudos for Logan. He got his invite with lab list, right? But so like, there's that. He made it to finals with the lab list, right? But for me, like, the Aristella lists that we've seen are people who are like trying to solely focus on hyper Dexia's advising people with things like Phantasmal Ascendant. Like we saw that from the list that top 8'd in my event and then lost its top 8.
Yeah, they took the old Asuka combo at that lost Pumpkin Witch, and then they just were like, okay, throw Asuka in the trash, put Aristella in it.
And I just don't think that's as good. Like personally, it doesn't feel as flexible. Or you have like the Seth lists that we've seen, or the lab lists, which for me feels like it sacrificed a lot of its progressive pressure for like really cool combos that if it pulls off goes really well. But like if it's behind, it struggles a lot, right?
Yeah.
Which is why I think if I was playing this weekend, I'd be playing freaking blue, white, black Aristella control. I think that deck is still. I think that deck has a phenomenal Hyde matchup. I think it's not, when I say phenomenal, not like favored, but it's just like you and I are going to be playing a game, right? Like it's, you and I are going to have to play well, especially with the inclusions of things like Memory of Rain, or sorry, Dissonance of Rain, like cards cracked, like
Yeah, and then there's like the niche stuff that you always have to be aware of. Like you have to be aware of Killua because it's just gonna come out of nowhere, and if you're not prepared for it, it will just take the match.
Yeah.
There's Ainz that if you don't have the techs for Eins, he just kills you. Like you don't
It's
get
one of the reasons
to
why
like
I like.
play.
That's one of the reasons why I really like Dissonance of Rain in general. Like for Aristella, like this is a really good card for blue Aristella control, right? Because Aristella can use all three of these modes, and it's like having a mini light child, but also being able to buy back stuff. And you can make it uncancelable by using Stone of Rain. So like you can just, it's really good against Hyde when they try to like turbo out contracts, because there's always an opportunity for you to interrupt them by just being like, you can't play 2-drop non-resonator spells this turn, and they're like, rough.
And they can still do it in response, but like,
but usually there's always a moment in like a hyper aggressive contract, like hyper aggressive Hyde contract, where they don't have the ability to produce the will to cast the rocket dive yet, where you can cast Dissonance of Rain. So you can just be like, nope.
I feel like that buys you a turn, but it's
Usually more than that, because they'll lose their Egas, and then they can't recast the Egas yet because
like
they
in
won't have the will.
response to Ega reveal, you can be like, no contract.
Or you just say no contract and no Ega, right? So the Ega just dies at the end of turn and can't use the will to produce itself.
But
Like
in the same vein, I feel like the better Hyde players will do the end of turn Ega, where
oh sure,
play it at the end of your opponent's turn, so that you still have it for the entirety of your turn.
oh sure. But but that's what I'm saying about like, that's why I like blue, black, white control Aristella as opposed to like hard comboing, because it's that idea of like, we're just gonna slam out progressive value at the end of your turn, and then go to our turn and Coldstone Pass, right? And we're still like advancing board state, and I think that was one of the things that we missed. So that's the thing for me. I mean, I think Hyde, Derek's article on Force of Wind was a wonderful breakdown of how Hyde works, but he ended it by saying it is a deck that it is very easy to misplay the shit out of it. And if you do mess up, you can just screw yourself over. So it is not a deck to just like pick up and play. And for that reason, I don't think we'll see a super huge influx of Hyde players into this environment. Like I think we'll see some. Like I think Hyde will be a good chunk of the environment, but I don't think it's going to be like 40% Hyde. You know what I mean?
No, I feel like it's still going to be a lot of Aristella because of just the ease of going God Arts. All right, reset God Arts. All right, I'm going to do other things. All right, I'm going to reset my God Arts again. Or just contract into Excalibur at the end of your turn. Okay, well, I guess I take 20 in the mouth.
Yeah, well, that's why I like Dissonance of Rain too, because it can give Water Chance Remnant, right? So then like we can cut down on the number of Holy Swords we're playing, because we can recast a Holy Sword for later. Like there's a lot more flexibility that the deck has because of Dissonance of Rain, which I really like. So Jeremy always giving away the secret tech. I was hoping to clap everyone with this card. Sorry.
Other decks that I would expect, I would expect Magic Stone Lab decks to still be around quite a lot, because it's the easiest way to just be like, all right, 1-drop value town, play Magic Stone Institute, hit you for 10 with Alorite.
Oh yeah, Lab is still good. Yeah, Magic Stone Research Institute is still going to be very prevalent. I mean, I think we'll see. I think Order Alice will still be a deck that people will play. I think we'll see new. I do think we're going to see some more Funfin Olga present in this environment, and it's an American only GP, so we're going to be seeing Oct,
Killua, and Oct. Well, you already know Steven's going to be playing Oct.
You're like
there's at least one.
The question for me is Killua's going to be the control Killua or the aggro Killua? I think the control one is better but also last GP Unga Bunga combo Killua almost top forward. So like could go either way, right? Like there's still a lot of unknown in this. Well, there's a lot of, let me say this. There's a lot of expected good, like we expect these things to be good and present, but there is still a lot of but they gotta play well. And what are they gonna get paired up against,
play
right?
Well, but also you have to be prepared for like 80% of the decks that are doing different routes to get to different win cons, where you need these different techs to shore up your matchups, and you have to choose which techs that you want for those specific matchups.
Yeah.
But like
It's a very exciting.
I would not be surprised if 80 to 90% of decks that can play it are not windmill slamming 3 to 4 Kilowatts into their main board.
Yeah. It's an environment that like feels known but still unsafe. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you truly never know what's going to come out of left field. You never know how your deck's going to shuffle up for you that day, and it still feels like an environment that's going to be heavily reliant on skill, which I love. Like, and the fact that this is our second GP in this environment, and I still couldn't tell you what the makeup of top 8 is going to be comfortably, or what we're going to see in Swiss comfortably, is also very cool. Like, it's always nice to see back-to-back events where we get to kind of like see how people have innovated on the last event. It's always really fun for me.
Yeah, this is the first time we've had a second event in the same format in a long time.
At least a GP level event.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm very excited for the Ruler School events moving forward.
We can actually
we'll
see
be able to
formats
have, like,
evolve.
Yeah, we'll have like 3 or 4 events per format outside of GPs, which will be very, very cool. I'm very excited about that. It's also an American only GP, right? So like that also influences it. Gonna see some
turn card sideways.
Just play 40 Cracker Sharks. I vibe with that. I mean, like, hey, you can play with the new Aristella. You can play tag K1 Cracker Sharks. Do we run it back? And Pumpkin Witch is legal again? Do we run back the greatest? Do we run back the greatest deck profile video in the history of Forza Will?
No.
Just gonna. I'll even do it like the old style.
You gotta
put the camera on. I'll put the gloves back on, and I'll do the whole like putting cards down.
40 Crocker Sharks because you gotta slam 4 Sign of the Future and 4 Prison of the Lunar Lake into it too.
Nah, just it's 39 Crocker Sharks. It's 36 Crocker Sharks and 4 Pumpkin Witch. That's the deck. Done.
Wait a minute.
That brought Mike back.
I could play in this GP.
Oh no. Yeah.
Buddy, you can play I'm gonna hear. Hey, listen to me. You can literally play Kaguya 1 Crocker Sharks.
Yeah, obviously.
In this GP, like.
I know.
Do it.
Nothing stopped me from playing 40 Crocker Sharks.
Yeah, lower the resolution to like truly old school. Like, take my camera, lower the resolution on the recording, put the gloves on, and do it like completely innocuously. Like, and then you got to play 4 Crocker Sharks.
There's 25 Crocker Sharks in here.
So we play another 4 Crocker Sharks.
The thing that I'm sad that I can't play this weekend, that I don't get to play, is this beautiful promo.
Oh, you already have Athenias. Nice. How did you already get the Athenias?
Because I hand them out to the Chicago group.
Oh, nice. I gotta get
well,
my
I got the secret.
I'm really sad that the camera didn't pick it up as well, but no, everybody knows what it did. Everybody knows what it is.
We know what it is.
It's very pretty.
Maybe I can ask to get. Maybe I can ask to get that as a playmat. I should ask if I could get promo artwork. That'd be sick.
GP promo Sylvias.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna be able to help you with that. Oh, as a playmat?
Yeah.
GP Sylvia. No, I'd get the Rhea before I get the Sylvia.
That's true. The GP Rheas are pretty good.
I'd get the Wednesday Rhea with her like sipping the glass of blood, like decks with gimmicks that let you like break the playset limit. Yeah, James Mast. Yeah, we've had some of those. Those are fun.
Who doesn't
right now with Painter Gears?
Yeah, but that card got banned with selective decapitation as it deserves to.
They still don't care. They just kill you.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Just sideboard some freaking endless like decay of the machines.
I don't have Croc Shark somewhere in here.
Bro, I actually looked. People are playing the list that was playing at GP last time was actually playing 2 dragons to combat decay of the machines.
Well, that's what I'm
And I was
saying.
like, bro,
Well, it's so that if they're it's so that when they if they don't kill you on the first
Yeah.
contract, they can start building back up again, right? But like when they go to contract, just like cool in response to decay of the machines. Hey.
they don't even need to contract. They just be like, promivores.
Shush. Why do you think I'm sideboarding lightning caves in my food deck? Hey.
Damascus Moon exists. That they get to grab on turn 1.
They're probably gonna grab other stuff first, so it's okay. Food with all of my like non-existent
Don't mind
additions.
me. I'm just being salty again.
Yeah, just being super
I'm
aggressive
being
about.
superly aggressively mad about it again.
It's okay. It's okay, buddy. But I do think that is going to close us out for here for tonight, because it does look like we're about to lose Mike Rance again. So what a perfect timing to call it for the night. I do want to say, as a reminder, this week we are going to have Killua Control versus Blue Olga feature match for this week. Deck profiles for both of those decks, and our dry list will be up next week, because this weekend is the GP. We hope you guys tune in on Saturday and Sunday for the stream of that. Looking very much forward to that. And yeah, and also, you know, get signed up for the things that we've talked about online in terms of the war event, and look for the details to come about the Ruler School monthly Discord events. So thank you all so much for watching. See you all later this week. And until next time, this is DMO73, and I'm joined as always by Patrick Ogrins.
Bye, everybody. See you this weekend.
And the ghost of Mike Rance.
Ooh,
Saying-
spooky.
I
Saying
hate that.
class dismissed.